Hi everyone, this is Yana, and today I'm sharing a Happy Halloween card using stamps from Neat Tangled. The stamps that I have today are from the September 2014 release, and these are called Creepy Cute and Creepy Cute Shadows and Sentiments. There are also some matching dies, but I'm only going to use stamps for my card today. If you look closely, you're going to see that there are outline images and then there are solid images in those sets. You have the bat, then the same goes for the moon, there's an outline and a solid, and for the cloud, the outline and the solid image. Then you also have the spider, the solid and the outline, and a little string for your spider as well. And also there's a really fun banner with a bunch of different messages. I really like different banners, and I think I'm going to use this one not just for these Halloween sentiments, but for other sentiments as well for in my other cards. And by the way, if the sentiment doesn't fit inside the banner, you can double it up. Double the banner up and break your sentiment into two parts. I've shared a card with a double banner like that already, and I'll have a link for you to check it out. I'm going to start working on my card by making a few masks. I'm going to need a bat, a full moon, a little ghost, and a banner. I'm going to cut all of these out. I'm using thin printer paper for masking today. You do not want to use anything thick for this. You can use specialty masking paper, but I do not have any, so I'm using the printer paper, and I will also use some removable adhesive to help my masks stay in place. I actually practiced my idea on a piece of paper, and I often do this so that I know what I'm doing and that I don't mess anything up during the video. And the idea is to combine all of these images into a cluster. I want to have a moon in the background, then a banner with a sentiment, and a bat with a ghost in the front, and I also want to add a few bats in the background as well. Now, these masks that I made not only going to mask my images, but they are going to help me visualize what is going to be located closer to me and what is going to be further so that I can plan my stamping accordingly. By looking at my mask cluster, I can see that my bat is located closest to me. It is not hidden behind any object, so therefore it is closer than the other elements in my card. Because of this, I'm going to stamp it first. So basically, you kind of have to work in reverse. You might think that you need to stamp the moon first and build on top of it, but really for this card, you need to stamp the bat first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo black ink for my stamping, as I plan to do some basic Copic coloring today. Next, I need to mask the bat and move on to the next closest image. By lifting that bat mask from my mask cluster, I can see that the next image that I need to work on is a banner. So I'm going to switch to my banner stamp and stamp that. Notice that I have my bat masked. It doesn't show well in the camera, but the mask is there and it's going to protect the bat image from the ink from the banner. Then again, I'm adding removable adhesive to my banner mask and masking that image as well. Now I need to stamp a ghost. With this mask cluster, I really do not have to constantly think which image has to be stamped next. This really simplifies things a lot for me. Finally, after the bat, the banner, and the ghost are stamped and masked, I can stamp the moon. Now I can carefully peel off my masks and reveal this super cool one-layer stamping. And by the way, you can easily make one-layer card like this, and I wanted to make one, but I knew that I wanted to do some Copic coloring, and I didn't have any extra thick cardstock that Copic markers would not bleed through, so I had to add more layers to my card, and you'll see that towards the end of this video. Okay, so at first I wasn't sure how I wanted to color this. I thought about adding ink with an ink blending tool, and I actually did do that for the moon. I had the banner, ghost, and bat, and also the space around the moon masked and blended some yellow ink, but I didn't really like the result I was getting. There was no dimension and it just looked like a flat image, so I then decided to use Copic markers. I used purples for the banner, a light and a medium color. I didn't have a dark purple, so I used a gray one instead. I've been using this trick for a while now, and it seems to save me a lot of money. So basically, I just added a layer of light purple, then added some shading with a medium purple, blended that out with a light purple, and added some more shading with a dark gray C5 marker. I then used two colors of yellow, a medium and a dark, and added shading around the edges of the moon to make it look not so flat. Now, I also used a few grays for my ghost. I started with a C1 marker and added some shading with a C3 and went back to the C1 to blend that in. I did not color the whole ghost, just the bottom part that looked like it was hidden behind the banner. The banner is located closer to me, so it's dropping some shadow on my white ghost, so that's why I'm adding a bit of gray down there. I also used Copic markers to color the bat. I went with the C3 and the C5 to make it look significantly darker than my ghost. Now, after my coloring was done, I put the bat mask back and stamped the Happy Halloween on the banner. I wanted to make sure the sentiment would not touch the bat, so that's why I had it masked. Now, you might remember that we had 4 masks at the beginning of this video, and we only used 3 so far. We did not use the moon mask. We're going to use it now, and we'll need to protect our moon image while stamping a few more bats onto our card. I'm actually going to use the outline and the solid images this time. So I'm using black ink to stamp the outline of my bat, and then switching to the solid image and stamping that inside the outlined one using gray ink. This way, I'm able to color my images, so to speak, without spending a lot of time. If I were to color them with markers or pencils, I would have spent more time doing that. So I think that these solid images are a really fun way to add color to your stamped bats and spiders and other Halloween creatures. Now, I also added a few spiders in a string and stamped a couple of little stars just to fill my background in with some elements. Like I said before, if I used thicker cardstock, the one where Copic markers do not bleed, I could have turned this into a 1-layer card. But the cardstock I used wasn't as thick, so the ink bled to the other side and I had to add a few more layers to my design. Now, I also added some glitter to my card. I used the kaleidoscope embossing powder from Stimpendos and added some glitter to the moon and also to the bottom of my ghost. You can use a Wink of Stella glitter pen for this if you like, but I do not have it yet, so I'm using my kaleidoscope embossing powder instead. This is a clear powder with tiny glitter inside, and I used embossing pen to be able to add that embossing powder to my image. Finally, I used a few sequins from Neat Tangled, those are from the Halloween pack, and added a few black and white around my card and also a few small jumps. I did add a layer of striped patterned paper and a bit of gold glitter ribbon from American Crafts just to create some interest and kind of balance that yellow on the moon there. So this finished my card for today. Thank you for watching. You can find the list of supplies to create this card in the video description and also on my blog. If you're looking for more videos using products from Neat Tangled, be sure to check out the link you see on the screen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click the thumbs up button. Thanks. And if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I have new videos coming out every week. Thanks and bye.